Hello, DigiFam! It is Prodigious, and I'm here with yet another deck profile. Now, it's not a big deck profile change, but it is to a deck that is a fan favorite amongst the many protagonists that we now have access to thanks to the new World Convergence set. I remember back in BT12 where we mainly got the first round of main protagonist cards, and it was nice. But this last time around, I didn't buy any booster boxes. I just bought singles of the ones that I was interested in the most. And I gotta say, even though at first I didn't like him, I gotta love Marcus and his fire-punching fists. Let's get into it. Alright, now a quick reminder again, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more and never miss out, please, by all means, hit the subscribe button. But either way, definitely give the video a like and leave me some comments down below. Now let's continue on with the video. So, we have switched things up. I used to have two different decks for ShineGreymon. I had, if you watch my previous videos, I had two builds. I had a more red base, red egg, aggro build, and then I had one that I tried to make more into a yellow base. The red base was aggro and punching, especially with Marcus. The yellow base was supposed to be more control-y, where the Digimon does most of the punching, but through the help of having tamers on the field, we can board control. I have since then retired the yellow build, and I hope to go back to it later. But in its place, I have basically just combined everything that I can into this build. So, we have our new egg of Koromon from BT21. When any of your yellow or red tamers suspend, draw a card. Now I will say, if you can make the right stack, if you're really looking to dig into your deck, and you happen to have the right cards at hand, all it takes is a simple having the stack out as a Rise Greymon, at the very least, and be in the middle of an action of suspending a tamer, and you can draw up to 3 cards with one single action with this deck. If that ain't helping you dig through your deck for pieces, I don't know what isn't. Alright. Now, Agumon here from BT13. We're going to run him at 2. He's a simple main once per turn, while your Marcus Daemon is also treated as a 3000 DP Digimon, but can't Digivolve. It's a very simple effect. At first, I was running without it, but it feels like you do need to have it because it does help when you need to find a way to just get your Marcus Daemons to suspend. It also has the inheritable that says when your red or yellow tamers become suspended, you may delete an opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Personally, I would love it if we had a inheritable on, say, like a Greymon or an Agumon that just said, like, when attacking, suspend one of your tamers. But we don't have that yet. Anyway, moving on. We also have Agumon from EX4. This one is simple, start your main phase. If you have a yellow or red tamer, gain a memory. This is also one of the ones I mentioned with the great inheritable that says when your red or yellow tamer becomes suspended, draw a card. Then, we're running 4 copies of Agumon from BT12. This is the on-play, reveal the top 4, add a Greymon name card to your hand, and 1 Marcus Daemon. So this is going to be our digger. It also has a nice inheritable of when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets -2. And then our last of our rookies is we are running 2 copies. I was initially running more, but it felt like I would have this when I didn't need it, or its inheritable just wasn't as needed as the others, so I cut it down to 2. And that is Agumon from BT21. Basically, this guy has the inheritable of this Digimon gets plus 2,000, so beefs up your DP. But it is also our card that we can, in a pinch, push out if our opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon and just be able to warp straight into a ShineGreymon. So it seems like almost all the Agumons have access to some way of warping. Alright, going into our champions, we have the only one of that we're allowed to run of. That is the ShineGreymon from BT13 that says when Digivolving, search your security stack for a red or yellow tamer, play it without paying the cost, and then recover. It also has the inheritable of your turn once per turn. When a red or yellow tamer becomes suspended, you can delete an opponent's Digimon of 3000 DP or less. Next, we have ShineGreymon from EX4. Now, this is the other one that if you have it in the right stack, you can get so much draw power out of this deck. Start your main phase. If you have a red or yellow tamer, gain 1. Inheritable is when you tap one of your red or yellow tamers get suspended, draw a card. I'm also running only 2 copies. I could see justification for maybe running 3, but for now I'm running at 2, and that is the ShineGreymon from BT12, the last protagonist set of when Digivolving. If you don't have a Marcus Daemon in play, you may play one without paying its cost. Again, I really wish they would upgrade all of these Digimon that help us cheat out tamers, because ones like this that are worded like that just don't cut it anymore. We need access to tamers. So it should be something along the lines of Digivolving, if you have a Marcus Daemon, you can play another one, but after that, you know. Anyway, inheritable on this guy is when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, when your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000. And then we are running 3 copies of the brand new ShineGreymon from BT21. It has the all turns effect that says once per turn, when any of your Marcus Daemon are played, this Digimon can Digivolve into a ShineGreymon from the hand without paying the cost. And I love how that's all turns, because that means if you have this out and your opponent happens to hit your security and your Marcus Daemon comes out and you have it in hand, you're evoing a non-ace card during your opponent's turn. Now, I haven't actually had that happen yet, but it can. Inheritable is your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. And then in my deck right now, and I could change this, at the moment I feel like this is the better split on how I do things. And that is, I'm running 2 and 2, and then 4 of the brand new ShineGreymon. So we're running 2 of the ShineGreymon that says when Digivolving you can play a Marcus. Otherwise, everything else is the same. You have the inheritable of all turns. When your red or yellow tamer is deleted, you can place a Marcus on top of your security face down. Inheritable, same thing. I'm running 2 copies of the ShineGreymon from BT12 that says if you have a red or yellow tamer, when Digivolving, gain a memory. Otherwise, everything else is the same. But then we're running 4 copies of this brand new ShineGreymon from BT21 on play or when Digivolving. For the turn, one of your Marcus Daemons is treated as a 3000 DP Digimon. It can't Digivolve, and it gains Rush and Alliance. Then one of your Digimon may attack. Everything else is the same. So this is a great card to go into with the ShineGreymon we just got. It's a great one to go into just for a hard play. Like, say, if you're close to beating out the game and you feel ballsy, or if you just need that one last hit to actually win the game, instead of worrying about trying to do hybrid for game, you do ShineGreymon for game. You pay that 7 cost. You hard play this. You select one of your Marcuses. Doesn't matter if it's one that just came out this turn or not. And you turn it into a Digimon and you swing with it. Next, we have the classic ShineGreymon from BT12. This is the one that was originally in my red aggro build because it focuses on powering up the Marcus more so than it is itself. And that is when Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP for each of your red and or yellow tamers you have in play. And then your turn, all your Marcus Daemon get plus 3000 DP and security attack plus. I'm also running 2 copies as the backup mega of the brand new ShineGreymon. And initially I would like to make this into a deck of its very own, but it feels like it's not quite there. I think maybe if we got a couple more cards in the ShineGreymon line that helps do more suspending of tamers or more minus DPing, it could be gold, but we're not quite there yet. So for right now, it's mainly a backup mega. This guy has raid. He has when Digivolving and when attacking, but once per turn. You may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 9000 DP or less. And then when attacking once per turn, by suspending one of your yellow or red tamers, this Digimon gains security attack plus and plus 3000 DP for the turn. Now next, we are running the classic ShineGreymon burst mode, not the ace. I would love to run the ace. I've even thought about just making it a 50-50 split and run like one of each. But for this build, I feel like it's more optimal to go ahead and just go with this version. And that is the burst mode, because you can go ahead and just bounce back one of your Marcus Daemons, and you have plenty in here to do that with. To have this Digivolve on top of your ShineGreymon temporarily, which means you will go back to one of your previous forms. But when Digivolving, you get to play back out a Marcus. It becomes a 12k Digimon with Rush. And then it has the effect of your turn once per turn. When one of your tamers becomes suspended, you trash the opponent's top security card. Alright, now going into some of our tech cards and options, we're of course running at least 2 copies of Yellow Scramble, 2 copies of Yellow Training, and then on to the tamers. I'm running a split of 3, 3, and 2. We have 3 of the Memory Fixer, because we want to see this one. It helps us put our memory to 3. Every time we get to suspend with it, we get to give something minus 3000 DP, and if we have an Agumon or Greymon in name and play, gain a memory. It is initially a 5-cost tamer, but usually 5-cost tamers do tend to pay back in dividends. Then we have the initial original Marcus Daemon. This is start of your main phase. If you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon, by paying 1, he becomes a Digimon with 3000 DP. And then it has the turn effect of if this Digimon becomes suspended, you can Evo one of your Agumons or Greymons, or no, Greymons specifically, into a yellow Greymon card without paying the cost. And then 2 of the brand new Marcus Daemon. And again, I'd like to run more, make it its own thing. We're not quite there yet. But this Marcus Daemon has start your main phase. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain 1. On play, one of your Marcus Daemons may suspend. So this can suspend any of the other Daemons or itself. All turns once per turn. When this tamer suspends, one of your Digimon gains piercing, gets plus 3000 DP, and you get to minus 3000 DP on something of your opponent's. Now, if you really wanted to, you could probably play with the ratios a little bit and maybe have 1 less Memory Fixer Marcus and 1 more of the I'm going to punch you and make my guy evolve Marcus. But I feel like this is the better flow of things. This way you have a little bit of everything. Now, as for anything else new with this deck, it's going to be the same old strategy, because let's face it, if it ain't broke, we ain't really fixing it, but we are adding some new tools. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. By all means, leave some comments down below. I want to know if you like seeing my digital way of doing things on here for Digimon, or if you would prefer some more live action stuff. It's really going to be up to you all on what you want to see, and I will do my best to try and supply it. So real life videos with real life gameplay, or keep up with the digital media version. So let me all know in the comments down below. And this has been Prodigious, and I will see you next time.